Okay, next. Next. We left it at basically what do we live in? Attention inputs. So we left it at now we have the attention inputs and then append attention output. We have the attention inputs and we have the and we have the training outputs. Let's see. Print training outputs, and then basically both. First here we'll just do shape, and then we'll just do shape. I think you can do that like this. No? How do you do that? Print shape off an array. Yeah, it does shape. Why is it not like aren't these things attention inputs maybe, basically? NP array. Should I just do something like this? Oh, but it is declare. NP array. How do you know? So let's change the modality default. Okay. Attention inputs. And actually, should I not just also the outputs? NP array. Okay, that's already an NP array. Okay. Okay. So let's see if that works now. Why's my face red? I always struggle with lightning. What happened now? Something happened to my laptop? No. Append. Okay, maybe I should just okay. What's the NP equivalent for append? Attention output. So we have attention. Return output. Maybe. Oh god, numpy and the array object has no attribute append. So what is the is it just element append? Yeah, why isn't it working? Can I just ask Ghostwriter how to fix that? Attention inputs append with. Really, that is oh, let's see if it's gonna get it right. Like insert, boom. Okay, it inserts it, but I still have to I still have to get rid of these. Yeah, okay, that's good. Cool. But okay, something's wrong in here. So why are the shapes different? They should be the same, shouldn't they? That's odd. 75,000. Why 75,000 inputs? And and it's 7520. So attention inputs. What is an example of the attention inputs? 0 element. So what the fuck? No. Attention inputs. Give me a second. Okay. That's not the point. What is this doing? I got lost now. So, so in the attention outputs, it's all correct, right? So if I do that, the attention output is essentially these, but actually I don't want these to be like that, right? The training outputs, actually, I was supposed to fix that shit. Yeah. It was supposed to be, wait a second, it was supposed to be an index. Wasn't it supposed to be an index in the vocabulary? Why isn't it like that? Softmax. Oh, I'm using the wrong thing, I think. Training outputs. Positional encoding. Training outputs. Vocab reference. Ah, there you go. Ah, there you go. Vocab references. That's what I'm supposed to do. So we're supposed to. I should call that. It's confusing. So I should call that. Output vocab references. And then there should just be exactly output vocab references. I think that is not needed at all, the training outputs. Output references, and that's what we need to output in here. Attention inputs. I'm not so happy with the names though, but that's what we want. And that should be, I think, should have the same shape. Should actually have the same shape. Come on. What's going on here? Why is it doing that? Hello? Stop. Run. Output vocab references. Why is it taking that long? Where is it stack? Let's rename these in the meantime. So essentially what we want to do is we have the input sequence and the target outputs, and we want the output vocab references. So we'll define those, and then basically when the input input encoded. Input encoded and the output vocab reference. So that's kind of what we want, right? So and then here, input sequence, target output. We don't really care about the target output anymore. Here we want the vocab reference, then the reference, target we don't want, target outputs we don't want. So essentially that's all we need to have. Boom, 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 and then training inputs. We don't need training inputs. Input sequences. Do we need that? Position encoding after position encoding. So training it, but then input sequence. Okay, so that's actually, yeah, okay. We need the input sequence. So input sequence, training outputs we don't need. And the output vocab reference, input encoded, training inputs. So then essentially what we need is positional encoded inputs. It's input encoded, I would say. Or input encoded, position encoded inputs. Yeah. So input encoded. So we need to basically do these. Then we are doing blah 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 blah. These are functions that we should get out of the way. And then so we're using the input encoded for these. Attention, and here also input attention. Or we want essentially the attention weights. Attention. That's how we should call it, attention weights. So these are the attention weights. The attention weights. We work on the input encoded, and then we do attention weights. Let's just I think it's I don't know if this is just inefficient or not, but let's just do attention weights. Or attention. That's not the weights. It's basically attention values. Because we already get the values, right? So that's what we want. We don't want the weights, we want already the values. Attention values, because the weights are applied in here, right? So they're applied in here and you get the output. Those are the values, attention values. So we get the word and then we delete these and then we say, well, we want attention output. Attention value. Attention value. We don't need a word. And then we need attention input. No, we need attention values. And attention value. And then we need attention values at the end to just be NP array attention values. So that's all good. What's wrong with these? There's something with the yeah, I like the animation though. No. I don't wanna okay, and so now we've got essentially, and I should probably just get those functions out of the way. Maybe I should even just yeah, I should get those functions out of the way for now. Function definitions. So I should get those functions out of the way up here. So these are just function definitions. and then that's all good. And then we go here. So input encoded. Essentially what we want to get in here is the attention values. Input encoded. So because we are passing the input encoded, right? So the input encoded is the input sequence. It's already passed the query, blah blah blah. So essentially, no. What we want to do is input encoded, like we want to override that input encoded. Exactly. So now we've got input encoded, and we've got type variables. So our output variables. So input encoded, and attention, and then the vocabulary. So this is just an index. So this is basically, yeah. I think this is just not used at all. And then is input sequence used? Input sequence here is defined, okay. But then what I'll do is I'll just define that here. As a, we need the input sequence stuff here for the training inputs and the output vocab reference. And then we're doing the position encoding. Input encoded, so that doesn't need to be defined in here. Exactly, and then we use the input encoded, blah blah blah. So we have the input encoded. Oh, okay, cool. So I have input encoded and output reference. Let's just call it output reference. Shorter names. And output reference. So we can just move that here. This is just stupid, but at least I know that's kind of that we have it here. So I have a reference. I have a reference of the input encoded and an output reference, and so now I want to just essentially print their shapes, because they should have the same shape, right? And the thing is, if this is already up to date right now for the purpose of right now, then I should just what's happening? I don't know why is it just not working? Where is this just being? Where are the resources going? Is this a replit issue, or is this an issue in my code? You know what I mean? Like where am I having an issue? Let me just do some cool debugging, huh? In between blocks on main pie. Can it do these? That'll be pretty cool, actually. The code. Has it done? two print statements with attention values for each input sequence and position also. I didn't want that. I wanted to just some random. No. I wanted just some. Where code gets stuck. Code. Can you add some print statements on main.py with the goal of seeing if and where the code gets stuck. So is it going to do this nicely? That's the thing. Doesn't look like it's doing it nicely. Maybe. Yeah. In between for loops. I thought I would understand that a bit better, to be honest. Faster to do this myself. So we'll just do print A. So let's see, print A, print B. Where is it getting stuck? Print C, print D, A. Okay, so actually going down to D. So here's where it's getting stuck. Why? Okay. Maybe input sequence, input encoded. Let me stop there. So let's just see input encoded. So let me print the. So print input sequence. Is it that slow? But it was just working before when we started. I don't get it. Have I modified anything here? Stop. Print query. So what is the query that I'm printing? And then print key. Attention values, append. This is running through the thing, right? Stop for a second. Stopping. So attention values, input encoded. So let's just. So what is the first of all? Print length of input encoded. So that's going to be these. And then it's a double loop, obviously. Input sequence. Input encoded shape. Can I do that? Stop. I don't wanna print that right now. Makes no sense either. Oh god. Oh god. Sometimes it just get stuck into these little things, huh? Run. This is gonna print IVCD. What's wrong? Start. 75, 5, 20. Yeah, makes sense. 75 sentences or 75 sequences, 5, and then each has like a 20 dimensions, right? Should I just reduce the dimensions of this stuff to model 20? I don't know. But I mean, that used to work. Was I doing just something wrong? So that's going to just iterate 75 times, obviously. And then 5 times for each input sequence, because it's got 5 words. So position, input sequence, and it's going to do that. And then attention values. So can I just print, okay, so print I. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know where it's getting stuck. I should just go to 75, right? Run. The last one. No, yeah, it's fine. 74. It's all fine. But then, oh, maybe that's what's, oh, that's the problem then. Okay. That's the problem. That is the problem, is doing these. So if I don't do these, and I, really, is that really the problem? If so, it'll just be funny. Oh yeah, 375 and 75. Inputs encoded. Why 375? Is it 75 times 5? No. Print C. So it's got, I basically have, so, and then if I just print input encoded, input encoded 0 and output reference. So what is it going to print? Oh, what the fuck? That is just not right. Okay, this is wrong. Okay, so output references. It's 75. That is wrong. I think I just got something wrong with the dimensionality here, because I think it just should be, one level, and I think that's the problem here. No, what is that? Okay, so something's off with output input encoded, and that's a given input, right? 1, 2, 3, 5. What? That is also not right. That is also not right. Sorry guys, this is I'm getting very confused right now. I messed up with the data structures so badly. Oh my god. First of all, let's try just the output reference. This makes no sense. Output references. So where was this happening? So it's happening here, So output reference is a vocab reference, and output reference is a what? Dude, what the fuck? That is not, no, this is, it's essentially what I'm doing is English vocabulary. That's what I'm doing. English vocabulary. No, well, it's vocab reference. No, that's correct. It's vocab reference. No, that's fine. What did I have before that? Ah, that was, yeah, it's like a, oh my god, that's just, what am I doing? Yeah, that's a big mistake. Okay, so let's just, now I should just get at least the list of things. Yeah, of course. So I'll put references now, and I think I now I can do a proper NP thing. So these are, yeah, okay. So now I can just do like an NP array thing in here, and so that's not going to kill anything right now. And now, okay, cool. So that is just the one array, yeah, with all the stuff. And now what I have to do is the input encoded. So what is the input encoded? It's just half an hour to get the whole data structures aligned. I essentially need input sequence. I need an input sequence encoded. Okay. And I need the attention value to be appended to the input sequence encoded, and then I need outside of the loop to say basically outside of the loop input encoded equals, or not encoded, append NP array input sequence encoded. Correct? So the input sequence encoded is just that input sequence encoded, and I'm putting it into the input encoded. Oh, can I not just do, not append, but just replace input encoded I is the input sequence, input encoded, yeah, I can do that probably. I hope it'll allow me to replace that while iterating, I guess. So this is the input encoded Y, input encoded I replace it now with the input sequence encoded. Attention encoded. Exactly. And so input encoded I, and then input encoded equals NP input encoded. Yeah, exactly. And now I should be able to just print the shape, leaf, and essentially, and I'll probably have to finish here if it works. Hopefully it'll work. Yeah, cool. So 75, 75. So we have the same amount. Yeah. So if I now just do and I print, so I just print, let's say 0. Oh my god. And 0. Essentially, what I'm getting is okay, that's awesome. Cool. So this is every single word in the window, and that's the and what's more, I can still do these English vocabulary. And now I can say no. Boh, I don't know the key shortcuts, so that bothers me a lot. English vocabulary. Vocabulary. So face. So okay, so these basically, these data tells me just face, right? Okay. So now what I need to do is the following. So now I've got the data cleaned up, I've got this format. So now what I have to do is basically two things, right? So there's two clear to-dos, and I should write in here, to-do number 1. To-do number 1. So I would need to build a simple neural network that learns these. Because there are two layers of training. So on one side is what is the right attention mechanics or mechanism, right? That's one thing, one level of training that is not here. And so and then basically train the and then there's another thing, which is just the you know, how well is that, like sort of a neural network. I think I'll do that. Yeah, I think it's basically, first of all, or maybe we could just build the inference mechanism. I mean, essentially, isn't that the inference mechanism? No, that's not the inference mechanism. The inference mechanism would be that I ask the model, that I give this to the model, and the model gives me these, or an ID, right? As in like that something. So I need to first I need to build a simple neural network now that trains on these data, exactly. Something that just trains on these data. So and now I'm basically facing the following. Either I use no, I'm not going to use a framework, fuck it. I'm just going to do that from scratch. So, okay, so now I need to build a simple neural network that takes in these data and trains it. But of course, there's two levels of training, as I said. There's a level of training on that neural network itself, but then there's also a layer of training, as in like that specific attention mechanism, right? So inputs encoded, and yeah. So what is now Ghostwriter going to tell me? Okay, so now I have, okay, so I have my training inputs encoded in input encoded, and the corresponding output index in output references. Help me build a simple neural network that trains on this data set. From scratch. I don't want to use any ML AI library, just Python, NumPy. So that's what I want to do, right? So, boom. Okay. It's really cool. That's very cool, actually. It just gave me, okay, so it just gave me an entire neural network class, which I'm not so sure if it's going to work out, but it's like initialize. Then there's the forward pass, there's the backward pass, the backward thing with the learning rate. There's the relu prime, softmax. So the quite advanced simple neural network class that can be used to training on the given data set. You can initialize the instance of this class with input size. So following. Can I, and I am really going to keep everything in one file for now. So just going to insert all this here. That's actually comes in handy. So can you give me on how to use the code you generated above in the context of NumPy? Is it able to do that? Okay, so no, but what I want to do is no network. Can you now give me an example of the same above, but an example on how to train this neural net? So I guess this is basically training loop. Okay, so let's try, see if that works at all. I guess that's totally independent from whatever else, right? So this just prints its stuff here, and off you go. And now here, I'm just gonna training example. So it's taking the neural network, it's defining some X train, some Y train, it's learning rate, number of iterations, doing whatever, right? So very simple stuff. And then you do these, and then you let's see if that see if that works at all. Then we try to understand what has this done, at all. If it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. So it's interesting. So test output. Okay. So interesting. So let me vary that and get something else. Now, can we do the following? So can we just can I just say, and I know that's wrong. I know I shouldn't be doing this because I should be splitting the data set, blah, 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 but I don't care for now. Can I just do these and just say the X train and the Y train? So the X train is basically input encoded. I don't know if that takes in any shape though. That's my suspicion here. Output references. Okay, I don't think that's gonna work like that, but anyway, an X test we just Okay, guys, give me a second. And then the test. That's the problem. I need to print. Let me just print something. Input encoded. Let's just print something here first. That says input encoded 3, and we're just gonna give these to it, I guess. Now it's not gonna work for sure, but let's see what happens. So I want, okay, I think that's the problem. Anyway, the shape, I probably need to define that shape in here. Input size, hidden size, output size. So, okay, so yeah, I'll stop now, and then yeah, we'll get to this in a second.